Before dawn, on the 29th of September 1979, 1 million people, a number equal to the entire population of Dublin and about 1/3 of the Republic's population at the time, gathered in the Phoenix Park for the first ever papal visit to Ireland. If sometimes I felt embarrassed because of my faith, this gargantuan assembly lent legitimacy to Catholicism, make it more socially acceptable to be a committed believer. When the Aer Lingus jet with Pope John Paul II on board flew overhead, the hair on my neck stood on end. The Pope had arrived in Ireland. The Brits had a queen. We had a Pope. He kissed Irish soil when he stepped off the plane. Later, it was said the Pope kissed the ground and walked on women. I also made it to Galway for the Papal Youth Mass. When the Pope said, "Young people of Ireland, I love you," tens of thousands of young people clapped and cheered in jubilation for 10 minutes. And we sang, "He's got the whole world in his hands." And we didn't mean God, we meant the Pope. He was our superstar. Eventually, the popular singing priest, Father Michael Cleary, interrupted our spontaneous cheering and singing, saying the Pope had to get on with the Mass. Bishop Eamon Casey was on the podium too. Cleary and Casey were probably the most prominent clerics in Ireland at the time. Both had clandestine relationships and both fathered children, which, when it came to light in 1992 and 1993, caused scandal and anguish for the faithful, the clerics' duplicity sparking disaffection and doubt in the laity who felt betrayed by the clerical church. By then, I'd become convinced of the need for a married clergy, and I was struck by the innocence of many laity. I knew many wonderful priests who had been forced to leave their priestly ministry because the church elevated the man-made law of celibacy over what it claimed to be the God-given vocation of the priesthood. But back to those innocent days, for me and for Ireland, of the papal visit. I had begun to attend a charismatic prayer meeting in St. Dulach's Retreat House in North Dublin, run by the Marist Fathers. I was impressed by a charismatic priest based there, Father Larry Duffy, who was such a powerful preacher that he was nicknamed the Laser Beam. Earnest and genuine in his faith, he prayed for hours every day, and his slender frame suggested he fasted too. I believed that this man had a direct link to God, like the prophets of old. I was so influenced by him that I began to imitate his mannerisms, like other young people might copy a pop idol or a sports star. I had been mortified as a young boy when I'd been caught unawares mimicking the words and gestures of a priest saying Mass, and when my father had said, "We might have a priest in the family." But now, age 17 or 18, it was time to decide what I wanted to do with my life. Money didn't appeal to me, buying a house, taking out a mortgage, getting into the rat race. I wanted to do something meaningful. I wanted the excitement and adventure of following Christ. I wanted to spend my life addressing the real needs of people, helping them too to find meaning in their lives. The Marist Fathers seemed to me to be the place where it was all happening. The congregation was open to what I thought the Holy Spirit was doing anew in our day. I liked that the Marists did various ministries, retreats, parishes, foreign missions, and schools. And so I wouldn't need to decide yet what work I would do as a priest. I heard that their seminary was vibrant with many young men like me testing their vocations. And Father Larry Duffy, my hero, was the Marist Vocations Director. During an all-night vigil, I told him I wanted to be a priest. "Praise be God," he said. He asked me about my family, and I told him I had an uncle a priest in South Africa and 2 cousins training to be priests. He explained that if I joined, I could see if I liked it, and that the Marist would be looking at me to see if I was suitable. He said there would be entrance tests, but he was sure I'd be grand. And meanwhile, I could take a trip out to the seminary. There was an open day for new entrants coming up soon. I wanted to be a priest more than anything else in the world. Father Duffy placed his hands on my head and prayed that many souls will be saved by your ministry.